In the last couple of minutes here, what did we not cover for the Vayner Nation to know about you, Charity Water?
So 10 years, we're getting reflective. We've helped 6.1 million people out of 660 million. So we're about 1% of the global problem.
Is that crippling to you? Like, you know what, let's go, since you just said I had a minute or two, I'm sitting here and thinking about, I'm very fortunate because I've been close enough to watch, and we don't hang out every day, but I'm watching, right? Boy, you've hustled. And for me to say you've hustled, like,
96 flights in years.
Like, to me, that's like a very difficult place to go. For me to like put one on, I respect your hustle, that's hard for me to go there. I really respect your hustle. For as hard as you grind, for as many conversations, selling people one by one, selling the story, biz deving. How many flights a year in your prime?
Almost 100.
Yeah, I mean,
96.
And these are not like what I do, like, hey, let me go to Atlanta.
We've never bought a business class ticket in the history of the org.
So like, I've really watched from afar. And very honestly, and this is a good opportunity for me to say this publicly, you did such a good job selling me. My level of cynicism starting off is like, when's the other shoe gonna drop, right? We've talked about this on a personal level. I get it from the business advice.
And then I started having kids, and then we were good.
But it was interesting to watch. For as hard as you've hustled, for as talented as you've done, for all these crazy names that have been associated, for all the big impacts, the charity events, the gala, in the different ways you've done it, boy, for everybody who's watching that I say patience, 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 it's got to be a little bit disheartening that you're a decade in and 1% of the problem. I don't believe, knowing how ambitious you are and optimistic as I am as well,
that's good enough.
I don't think you would have sat there 10 years ago, and if we were buddies from Hunterdon, and I said, bro, weird thing, I'm a genie, in 10 years we're gonna be sitting with India and D-Rock, and I'm gonna tell you, you've crushed it, you've gone as hard as you thought you were gonna go, and great news, you've moved the needle by 1%.
So it's tough. I actually appreciate that you asked this, because most people take the other tack, and they say, did you have any idea you would be so successful? Did you have any idea you guys, from a cold start, would raise $250 million from 1 million people who didn't trust charity? And like, Scott, you've transformed 19,000 communities through, your community has. You've been a catalyst to 19,000 communities in 24 countries and 6.1 million lives. And I was like, dude, I thought we'd be 10x. I thought, it would be 50 million people served by now. So it's hard. As we said at the beginning, it's hard to get people to care, bro. Like, it's hard. It's not in your face. Like, your kids aren't drinking dirty water. Your mom never walked 8 hours. These people live thousands of miles away. You're not selling them product. Yeah. They are not useful. The poorest people trapped in the water crisis are not useful they're not going to buy our products.
Let me ask you a crazy question.
It's
another thing that nobody would ask you. I'm sitting here and I'm listening, and then I'm also thinking about all the emails I get every day. Emails that I'm on welfare. I own $400,000 for student loans. My dad died last week, and I have to provide. I get some pretty gnarly emails.
I'm sure you give to a lot of them.
Yeah, but that's actually not where I'm going. I'm sitting here and thinking they're watching this, and they've got their own problems. Mm-hmm. I sometimes think about the people that are less fortunate in my inner circle, friends I grew up with, college buddies, relatives. This is a really funny question. I love doing what I do in a very narrow world with far more vanity and less nobleness than what you're up to, no question. Because I love the way it makes me feel by making less money, but making somebody emailing me and saying, you've made my business life better. I get a high from that. Do you believe, and this is where I'm poking at the audience, a lot of people don't have a lot of money, a lot of people are in debt, yet they're very comfortable buying a $600 iPhone while still in that circumstance. Just true, let's call it what it is. Do you think it's actually innately human to not understand, to not be wired? This is a real serious question for me, and I'm curious from your perspective. And I don't believe you actually have the answer. I want your opinion. Do you think people are inherently, not selfish, because I would say that's wrong, but do you think people don't get off or get a high from giving? Because I do, and I know it's my biggest advantage. I actually think I have all my things because I was blessed with the DNA of the high of giving. I say 51-49 in business all the time. I genuinely want the leverage and the feeling of giving more than getting in return because I'm good. Do you think that that is an actual human hardwiring that most people, they're like, cool, whatever, bro, you're right, it's not in my face, and you don't know my problems. I need escapism. I'm gonna buy Netflix instead of helping some kid I don't know in a country that I don't care about.
I think selfishness is easier in the default. I think, like being a dad now, like seeing how selfish my little human being is, and kind of training him about sharing and patience and all these, like they're muscles that have to work. However, I think the more you give, the more you want to give. It unlocks something. We talk here about getting addicted to giving, right? You start giving to us,
right?
Then you started giving to pencils.
That's it.
Then you started giving to other stuff, and you're like, wait, this is kind of
fun.
cool. And now I can give some time, and now I can give some connections. So it's one of those things. And it's not about the money. There are people watching that might be able to give $5. What I've been amazed at is some of the people in the greatest need are the most generous, and that is what perplexed me. We did a campaign early on with Saks Fifth Avenue, and it was a very simple idea, right? Women come in and buy $5,000 handbags. Let's also get them to sponsor water projects.
You thought this was going to be a home run.
Well, it was. However, what was the most inspiring thing that Saks wound up raising $700,000 to their community, but the employees in the Jackson, Mississippi call center started selling their personal jewelry to raise enough money so that a well could be built on behalf of the call center.
Love it.
And the CEO is like, these people many of them are minimum wage.
Right.
It's the rich that are supposed to be giving. It's the women that are, maybe buying a $5,000 handbag that would feel guilty that and that is inspiring, right? So you latch onto that. It's like the widow's mite. Those are the stories that we are talking about 2,000 years later, that people are coming out. So I think giving is an exercise. The more you do, give time, give talent, give money, the more you do, the more you want to do, and the more it changes you for the better. The more it changes your family, the more it impacts your legacy.